I wanted to share a story with you guys that happened a little bit ago. Me and my family are deaf, and this story really took me back. It was an experience with a cop that pulled me over and my mother. So we were driving home. We were going about 45 miles an hour. I mean, it wasn't fast. I was with my grandmother. She's 97 years old, and there was a ton of us in the car. So I was driving, and we saw a motorcycle cop sitting on the side of the road. We're like, oh, it's fine. It doesn't matter. We're just hanging out. And then all of a sudden, the motorcycle cop pulled up behind us. I mean, we didn't think anything of it. He turned his lights off, and it couldn't have been for me. I was going the right speed limit. So I pulled over, and the cop pulled over right behind me. And then I moved to another lane, and he kept going behind me. That couldn't be for me. So we pulled over. The cop got off his motorcycle. We rolled down the window. I said, well, what was wrong? He was talking and talking and talking. I was like, I'm sorry. I sign. We all sign. We can't hear. He continued to mumble. So finally, he saw that I was signing to my husband, and then he realized that we were all deaf. And he said, can you read my lips? And I said, it's hard. It's better. I even asked for an interpreter if he can write back and forth so the communication could keep going. And he still continued to talk. And it was such a struggle for me. He asked for my license. It was unclear why I was being pulled over, for speeding or what. So the argument continued. I didn't understand. I even offered, and I continued to offer, if we can write back and forth. So finally, he just got frustrated and asked for my license. So I gave it to him, and he came back with a ticket with this very, very tiny print. It was very fine print. It was hard to read. And explained the ticket. I told him that it's so hard to read, I can't read that. And he asked us to sign it. It's the law that the state requires that we sign it. And so I tried reading and he didn't give us enough time. He said, sign it now. So I looked it over and I didn't understand why we got pulled over. And he didn't have a radar, so there's no way it could have been speeding. The cop said, you need to sign this now. And I said, I want an interpreter. Because the struggle is unclear of what's going on. I don't understand why any of this is happening or what to do. I want an interpreter. The cop said, no. And there was an interpreter on call. And I said, I want an ASL interpreter. The communication was awful. He said, if you fight, we're going to go to court. I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to sign that. I said, what happens if I don't sign it? And he said, well, you're going to go to jail. I'm going to go to jail? I'm fine. My husband will drive home. That's fine. And it was just such a struggle. The communication was awful. And I always kept that story in the back of my head. Don't sign it until you have an interpreter, if you don't understand what's going on. The communication just was failed. I would have rather written and communicated like that so I could understand why I was getting a ticket before I signed. And sometimes cops are power hungry. I contacted a friend who was a cop himself who was hearing. And he always gets an interpreter to help with the communication. The internal AFS is complained to, and there was a court case over this, and the law is now required to have an interpreter for them and provide that for them. The ADA got involved, and made it a state law in which states could have it, mostly in the South. I mean, we just needed something, some sort of communication right back and forth. And so we did have a case over it, because things were still blurry, and should the law require interpreters or should they not? It's up to you to decide and discuss that. I forgot to add some things about the ticket. That fine print, remember that? It talked about the cost of $300. It said that there was construction workers there. But really, there wasn't any. There was nothing. They lied. I was so angry. Should people support us on our case or the law? It's interesting to see the cops form. They said they asked if we were a deaf driver and they said no. Or they said yes and they never asked us. They never tried to make it easier for us. And they made sure that our license was valid and said that it didn't. There was a lot of work to do in this case, especially in that form. It was all up to you, especially for the time.